George and Seb rolling down the road, RGT riding shotgun a heavy load. Pastor Longhorn waiting to unfold. In El Paso, Texas, tales been told. One arm big, a sight to see.
Hello and welcome to the Unofficial Controller Podcast, your weekly gaming podcast, episode number 242. With me, George, and this week joined by OG Tom, daydreamer to my night shift cleaner. How's it going?
I'm doing well, mate, thank you. But I do wish you should probably address me as sir due to my higher ranking within the camp. My premium pass entitles me, and we've been through this, to superior advantages in the camp. And you can't carry on addressing me as your equal. Pastor Longhorn said there is a hierarchy here, and I'm afraid you're near the bottom.
I understand that. I do. I didn't know whether I was talking to you, my cousin, that's now a failed gaming, I don't know, a resurgent gaming. Well, you're just generally a celebrity. And you've joined me here, a lowly cleaner within the cult. You're right, I should call you sir. I thought in this moment of privacy in the broom cupboard that I would be allowed to execute a little bit closeness.
I feel like you brought me into this broom cupboard to try and win me over with some nostalgia, but the draw of the premium package is too strong, I'm afraid. We are given far greater luxury. You call it a camp, I call it a retreat.
You brought me in this broom cupboard. You said to me, I was by the water cooler getting a glass of Kool-Aid. Okay, my only one for the day, my little
Drink
perk.
the Kool-Aid.
Exactly. And you said to me, I want to go in there with you. And I was a bit nervous. But then you followed it up with this. I want to get full Lennon McCartney on this bitch. And I want to get some of the old magic back. And I said, wow, okay, yeah. You said gaming podcasts are doing well right now. I want to cut my teeth. I'm a man of legend.
But now you're in here, you need to understand that I'm Lennon, Pastor is Yoko, and you are McCartney.
I don't know why I'm laughing. Script says play it deadpan. Fair enough. We'll edit that out. It's good to see you. Question I have for you. In your private time at the cult, I think quite a few people want to know, and knowing what you're like, we're about to get every single game for the last 6 months dumped on us. What have you been playing?
Well, in the last 6 months, I've been playing quite a lot of different things. Most notable, probably...
The Field?
The Field?
Yeah, you've been playing that?
No. Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, I've been playing that a lot. All right. Yeah. Space Marine 2.
Tell me about this.
Now, I only really have vague memories of the first one. I think I downloaded the demo of it on the 360 and thought it was quite good, but we were saying about the 360, there was a lot of games, so it was just one that was probably buried underneath the pile.
And that game, just to fill you in, you and the listeners, that, you know, I dug that out recently, and it's a fun game. It looks nice. It's The textures probably aren't the peak of that era, and it plays like PS2 God of War with a gun.
Interesting. From how you described it to me on the phone, it doesn't sound a great deal different. So I'm intrigued to probably have a look at that and just maybe watch some videos of it to see how
that'll scratch your itch, won't it?
It would, yeah.
Just watch a video.
Yeah, just watch a video.
End game credits. That'll do. Completed it, mate.
Yeah, finished that one. I've finished lots of games.
Tell me about this.
In my head.
Me too. Tell me about this whole technology, where they're kind of coming at you. How many? Are we talking like more than Days Gone or less than Days Gone, or what's going on?
Overall, like the scale of it's linear, like it's not open, you don't land and then you go on these open world missions. It's a little linear. But that swarm technology, I'd say, is probably greater than Days Gone for numbers wise. It's really good. It looks phenomenal as well. I think overall, graphically as a game, considering it's like AA studio,
Yeah, I'm going to.
I'm well impressed.
I know I'm a bit late on the train. We know
Yeah.
that's what I'm like. But I might pick that up if I see it.
Yeah.
What else? So that's Space Marine. Scratch.
Yeah,
Next.
finished that and played some of the good thing I would say about it is it's a really good value for money game. In a day and age where games are very expensive, I find it really um, inspiring that a smaller studio has gone out of the way and made it a complete package at launch. And there's a lot of free content coming to it. So you've got your campaign, you've got your multiplayer, and then there's what they're called operations. So there's almost like a side story going on to the main campaign.
Mm.
And you go and play that, but in that you can alter your characters a lot more. So
That's interesting.
that's really good. Really good package. I think what Black Myth Wukong. I've kind of Space Marine came out and I stopped playing it, and I've really struggled to find the urge to go back to it. It's
It's not a good
gameplay
sign,
wise,
is it?
I quite enjoy it, but it is very much just a boss rush game. Like you just go through these little linear areas onto another boss, and yeah, it lacks like certain things from some of the games it takes inspiration from. Like it's probably closer to Devil May Cry and like Ninja Gaiden or something like that, like the 3D ones, compared to Dark Souls. And I think it's just trying to. It's really well made, no doubt about that.
It looks good.
It does look very good. It plays really well. But yeah, I'm just struggling to find the time to go back to that. I don't usually play.
It looks good. It plays really well. Struggling to go back to it. Why?
Yeah, I think there's just not a.
Storyline?
Yeah, there is a storyline there, and it's Chinese mythology, and it seemed quite interesting. And I think it's one of those where I've just left it too long, which happens sometimes. I think you just leave it too long, and you're like, oh, what's it doing on that? And
I love has a nasty habit of disappearing overnight.
it does, certainly does. What else was there? So I don't usually play a lot of the monthly games we get, but this month was WWE 2K24. I haven't played any of those for a long time, and I was like, you know what, I'll just download it, give it a shot. My mate was telling me about the showcase mode going through like different WrestleManias, and I've been playing that a lot, really enjoying it. It has a weight to the controls that feel good, and the way the matches play out, there's a good ebb and flow. It feels more natural, like the TV show. It just seems to click. There's a few things that take you out of it where you're like, oh, they've just done that. There's so many other things where you're like, that was really cool what they just did there. And then it'll take you out of it, and it's like back in a 90s WrestleMania, and some guy's on his smartphone, like filming in the crowd, and you're just like, it's a bit strange, yeah. And it just, I don't know. I've always been, there's so much more they could do to the older matches where I know they've tried to do it, like have a different filter on it and create like I guess what was the steam in the building at the time, or like the humidity and stuff, and like all the cables on the floor and like the fan signs chucked on the floor. It just make it look a bit more realistic in a way. It all still looks so shiny and clean. It's crazy. And I know that is the look of the modern one, but it's still not fully like there. And like a lot of the character models, especially the more higher tier people in the roster, look really good. Yeah,
It'd be a bad day to be hardcore Holly, though, wouldn't it?
It would be a bad day to be Crash Holly.
Yeah.
Or Molly. But yeah, I think
I'm down on this looking like a PS1 SmackDown.
She's in it. Funnily enough, she is in it. Yeah, she's one of the unlockable characters.
Wow, the Hollies.
But no Crash or Hardcore, just Molly. But I don't know. Very strange. So yeah, I've really been enjoying that. And played it online a little bit with my mates, and it actually holds up a bit better online, because we've tried them in the past, haven't we, online, and they play I don't know what it is with the servers.
Oh, what? Where we've tried to play each other?
Yeah, and they've just been dreadful.
It was unplayable, wasn't it?
It was. So yeah, pleased to kind of see that had improved a little bit. I feel like I've been playing something else. I forgot about. I really wanted to pick up Silent Hill 2, but I'm gonna have to wait till next month. Yeah, I think that's about it for me.
Mm.
If I think of anything while you're talking, I'll cut you off and tell you.
You'll slip it in.
I'll slip it in.
Fine.
That's why we're in the broom cupboard.
I wondered if it was a broom cupboard or more. It feels a bit seedy. It feels like a sex dungeon to me. Obviously, we've got some face shots up here of Mike Brewer.
Yeah, a neon sign.
A neon sign. I don't know what it says, actually. It's too bright to look at. And generally, just a myriad of strange things we've sort of gathered ourselves up around.
House Sitter on VHS and also Return of the King.
Got to have that. Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And a Magic 8 Ball.
And some medals.
One thing that doesn't change is that I'm contractually obliged to ask you what you're playing. Yet, ever the professional looking for the slick link, you leave me here high and dry. So I ask myself what I've been playing. Very interesting question, George. I'm glad you're here. This is wonderful. You do the heavy lifting. I'll say the cool stuff. No worries, Tom. Okay, here we go. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I'm a failed gaming celebrity podcaster. No, a failed a failed gamer. No, I'm all the things. I'm a failure. I've been playing Train Sim 5. Hear me out. Now, it has now been deleted. It was
Lord, what is happening?
Let me explain this to you. Let me explain this to you, and then you come on the journey with me, and then you can judge. So it's always in the sale, and I saw it, and I was like, yeah, I'm having a slice of this. So I got it, and I realised that I couldn't do the King's Cross to like Farmerton route, and I was a bit like,
It's a direct line, though.
I know.
It goes straight into the.
But it's not in the base game.
Farmerton.
There's a lot of DLC at £20 each to make this game complete. Yeah.
Wow, that's how they get
you. Yeah, that's how they get you. So anyway, I thought I'll get that. I'll treat myself. Do you know what? Why not? So I got that.
Okay.
And then I was playing it, and I don't know what the train's name is, but let's call it the Intercity 125, just as an example. And then you have these, you can just work the timetable like normal, or you have these guided experiences. Get ready. So in the first one, you turn up at Newark, and you get on the train, you sit in first class, and it rumbles off, and they basically just tell you what you're going to be doing in this part of the game. It's a bit like Showcase for WWE. But better.
Story.
No, okay. Listen, right? Okay. Because in the next one, now I had done the driver training in a separate series of missions, and I turned up to this one, and basically it was like, yeah, it's your first day on the job. Now you're qualified, so you can take the train out, and in the straits between Newark and Peterborough, where all the land speed train records were set, you're going to get the train up to 125 mile an hour. Now, come with me on this journey. So there I am. Doors closed, passengers on board, take it up to 30 miles an hour as you leave the station. Did that. Felt good. Now, I didn't notice it at first, but there was this gentle sort of orchestral loop going on. And it was just in the background, just subtle. And then it was like, okay, take me up to 40. I was like, doof, done that. Okay, right, everything seems okay with the train. Take it up to 80. Boop, 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 up to 80. Poof. And the music begins just to lift a little bit more. Just gently. And I thought, oh, that's nice. And then it told me to take the speed up to 125, which is the speed limit. And as you do that, as you hit 125, they've made it so the music sort of swells and then comes in at perfectly the right moment. Perfect. That's why you're on the big books. And then it hit me. And I was like, wow, that actually might be a gaming moment for me.
Wow.
I
am. You never cease to amaze me with your interest,
enthusiasm, exuberantly enthusiastic for.
You could sell the snow to the Eskimos.
So you're going to get that?
I feel like it would probably warrant a tech demo from you, really giving it some sales spiel.
So basically, if I can't be bothered to talk again, so if we just edit the show, I can't be bothered to edit the show. Yeah, I'll just play it in front of you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to do the spiel. I don't think I'd do it twice. What else have I played? Um, I finished Yakuza Like a Dragon, the turn-based one. Have to admit, by the end, and I want to speak to Roast Space Monk about this. I was absolutely done with the game. I've played a lot of Yakuzas,
Yeah.
so maybe and to start
Is this the
with,
latest entry?
it's the
Is it the turn-based one?
it's the first of the turn-based.
Okay.
And I was getting a bit bored of the whack, whack, whack buttons. And I thought, yeah, okay, turn-based, this is the mixing it up. Now, if you remember, we reported on this as an April Fool's joke many years ago. And it was actually just them seeing what people would think. And I was one of the people who went, yeah, I'm into that. Well, I'm not.
I'm not. Not anymore.
Not on that.
No.
Not like that. Not to me. They can't do that to me. Not like that. It's dirty. It's wrong. And by the end of it, I was kind of just done. The story was kind of there or thereabouts, but my kind of I spent an awful long time on that game, longer than any other Yakuza I've played. I think the save file was massive.
It felt very much a grind then towards the end.
Initially, it was quite exciting, yeah, and quite uplifting, but then it slowly starts to fade away a little bit, and you're like, yeah, same Yakuza, really.
A question going back that I meant to slip in during the simulation talk.
Oh, yeah.
Do you believe that actual experience can come from some of these simulator games for the role of, so you've got flight sim, train sim.
Let's speak about the train sim. I was watching something on TV the other day. I can't remember, it was on YouTube. I'm weirdo, aren't I? So I was probably looking at some train stuff, and they were talking through the controls. They're exactly the controls that you use in the game, to the letter.
I know, like the forestry machinery one in Farming Sim is identical. And I was going to ask that Flight Sim, the new one, that did pique my interest where you can actually carry out like work and jobs. And
I've talked about that.
That's very cool.
Very interested in that. Those missions are actually what will make that game. Because maybe you and I aren't like a full plane nerd, right? There's potential.
Yeah.
You're like Little's version of Tom Cruise, and I'm like Powerman's version of Ross Kemp.
Okay.
So yeah. Although he don't fly, but I could jump out the back.
He would in a TV show. I think he's been in
you're right.
in Ultimate Force.
Ultimate Force, that's what I was thinking of. So, anyway, we digress. We're not going to want to fly from, I don't know, some of these random airports, but we would be interested in a showcase mode.
We would.
Where it's like, be a firefighter for the day, be a air chauffeur for the day, be a this, be a that, be a cargo hauler.
There's like sea rescue, isn't there?
As hot air balloon.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that is interesting. Back to Yakuza. I'm going to have a little break before I try The Man Who Changed His Name, which is like a DLC only in the UK intermission game with Kiryu again. So I'll be excited to give that a whirl. I've been playing a game only recently called Frostpunk. That's like it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a real-time simulation strategy game. Sometime in the far future, it's got really freezing cold, and from what I can work out,
the film with the train,
a little bit. From what I can work out with the lore, Snowpiercer, they built these super heaters in these different locations, and people, when the world went to nonsense, these people kind of knew where the heaters were, and they've gone up there to form these civilizations around these superheaters. Okay. And you like position the housing within, because what you do is you extend the heat outwards as you upgrade your heater. And if you're outside the cold zone,
is it like a construction-based sim?
Kind of. It's I haven't found any combat in it yet.
Yeah.
But the management of the town and the manager, it's got the potential to destroy my life.
Oh, okay.
Because as you're playing it, it's a little bit like Darkest Dungeon. It's a cross between Darkest Dungeon and Anno.
Okay.
and you get these little sections pop up where, let's say the heating's not extended to this area and these people are saying that they're cold and they need some medical attention, and you make promises to them like,
Yeah.
oh, don't worry, I'll have the heating back on by tomorrow latest. And they say, okay. And then you have this hope and a discontent bars. And if you can get them low, obviously they're happy and everything's good. If they creep up, then they kick off and it's the end of the game.
So the residents can rebel.
That's right, yeah. And you also need those residents to work for you. So you've got them getting coal, you've got them getting timber, you've got them getting steel, and then you're building this.
I like it.
Yeah.
Communism or more capitalism.
Well, the thing is, there were choices. It was the first time it came up because as you make decisions, they say, let's establish some laws then. And you go, okay. Because I think the first one came up, it was like, your people are ill. Do you want them to fend for themselves or do you want to set up a clinic? And I was like, oh, yeah, I'll set up a clinic. And then I thought to myself,
costs money.
Costs money, they expect it. And that's how the game goes.
That's
because there was one
moral dilemmas.
That's right. Because there was one where, like, right, this guy's in the clinic.
Yeah.
And he needs his leg amputated, but he refuses. So do you want to write a law where if we deem we need to amputate someone, we can just do it without their consent? And I was like, oh. I said no. And then I got another thing pop up later. It's like that guy you said no to has just died in the ward because he wouldn't let us do anything. We just had to, and he had the most painful, hideous death because of you. And I was like, oh, right. Okay. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Welcome to the cult.
It's quite dark.
Welcome to the Great Ascension. Yeah, but it gets you thinking. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
What else have I been playing? Get ready for this.
Well, I've had Train Sim, so nothing can surprise, I don't think.
No, I was going to try and come up with something, but it would have been indistinguishable from a real game. I was going to come up with some sort of car parts supply simulator, but I guarantee you that probably exists, right? So I'm not even going to go there. I've been playing GTA San Andreas, the remastered.
I saw that on your dashboard when I came around.
There's also some other games I've had a quick dabble in. We'll come back to that. So I've been playing Daxter, the PSP game. I've always liked it. It's one of my favourite PSP games. Yeah, it's you're on his own. I think it's like it works quite well because I think it joins either 1 and 2 or 2 and 3. I think it's 1 and 2 actually.
Like a 1.5 or a 2.
Yeah, sort of. It's very much a solo game.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll probably do for now. And GTA San, I've actually been enjoying it. The first time I picked it up, I don't know why, I just felt like the controls are off and I thought it was a bit janky. I didn't want to play it.
Yeah.
Played it. I started a new game on the file, and maybe there's been an update or whatnot. I don't know, but it played really well. There was on the PS2 original. I think a lot of the characters, in terms of their like bone structure and everything, they look good. But depending on whether you've got CJ too thin, or too fat, or too muscular, he looks like a freak. Like at the minute, my guy's shoulders just goes almost straight down because he's not beefed up too much, right? And he just looks like a massive pyramid head.
Yeah. So rather than a Pringle, he's a triangle.
He literally is with a little olive stuck on top.
Nice.
So an olive stuck on a massive Toblerone.
Sounds like something Alan Partridge would eat.
It's my staple diet. That's all I get from pasta Longhorn. And then he tells me my breath.
In the Great Hall, feast after feast. And not the chocolate ice cream, but a proper feast. You're missing out.
You see, we don't get to enjoy the feast. We get to... The thing is, Pastor says that a lot of our information needs to come in. He says, you do a lot of talking, George, and it's time to do some listening. But you need to listen in the way the Great Ascension needs you to listen. So you need to listen through your mouth. And I was like, that seems a bit strange.
Yeah.
So he said, in the servants' quarters, there's a little sort of secret tunnel that leads down the side of the Great Hall.
Yeah.
I want you to go and open this little flap and listen with your mouth through this hole. And whatever you hear from me is my message. It was a lot.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
A lot to take in.
It was a lot to take in. It was a big message.
Wow.
And I could hear you in the Great Hall sort of laughing and guffawing. And I was thinking, wow,
It's good times.
if I absorb this message well, maybe I might get a seat at the big table.
Well, it is a round table.
Is it?
Sir Pastor deemed it so because he had read King Arthur. The Chronicles.
I had visions of him laying on it and it rotating and you feasting from his legs and things.
No, not quite that dark.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a shame.
His Grand Mage that role is up for application.
Grand Mage.
Yeah, so he had like someone he wanted to turn into his Merlin and yeah, it didn't go well.
Is that you?
No,
Are you going to go for it?
I'm more of Squire level at the table. I'm not a fully fledged Pastor Knight. So
I didn't know about this sub-rank system that's going on.
well, it is for the round table there.
I mean, is that because you're paying the big dollar or?
I did buy him away, and I'm not going to lie. Yeah, it wasn't through service or servitude to him.
Yeah, I couldn't. Someone
He said there's two ways in, Tom. Servitude or cold hard cash. So that's what he got.
Yeah, I don't want to start a conspiracy because I was thinking that, I could use maybe some of the show's money to, bankroll me to a higher level. But when I checked the show's bank account, I see you needed it in the Cayman Islands.
I did.
And it's bizarrely...
Sure investment.
What really hurts is that it's exactly the same amount of money
to
you need.
Apply for the round table.
That's right.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just coincidence. Pure coincidence. I will return the investment tenfold.
Monetarily or with...
Possible your pathway to the round table.
I like what you're doing here. You're selling me a concept, but you're giving me nothing.
I can't say too much. Maybe you'll find out more.
Maybe we'll check the news. We scoured the very darkest regions of the internet to bring you the latest stories. First up, life in the old dog yet. The creators of a Killzone fanzine have appealed to Sony to license the intellectual property to them. What's happening to me? We're promising we won't disappoint. Following comments made by Guerrilla's art director Roy Postumer, in which he implied the team was done with the first-person shooter franchise, the British-based superfans said, if there are no more plans for the series, we want to have an honest conversation about licensing the IP themselves. Interesting. Maybe they want that little action figure. The letter starts out by stating many of us were fortunate enough to enjoy Killzone during our formative years, devouring every last bit of lore and savouring every mouth-watering set piece. It acknowledges Guerrilla may have needed to spread its wings after so long working on the same series and accepts Horizon has been more commercially successful. But it's been 11 years, it continues. Killzone has been out of the spotlight for almost as long as it was in it. We miss it. It's the exact kind of FPS PlayStation needs in its lineup. Who would have known it? To be honest, we don't think Sony would be against the idea of licensing property out if the truly creative pitch existed. Fantavision, for example, was handed off to an external studio for its PSVR 2 re-release, while Freedom Wars will be brought back by Bandai Namco next year, so it's not opposed to giving these franchises out. But with the greatest of respect to the fanzine's team, we think it's going to need serious game development experience and very compelling concept to get the attention of Sony here. One thing we will say is that Killzone fanzine the team has put together, which is due out next month to celebrate the series' 20th anniversary, looks genuinely excellent. So, no denying there's some big and very talented fans of Sony's Killzone franchise. What do you think about these upstarts telling Sony we want to have a little go at making our own version of the game? Because we are real big fanboys.
I think it comes down to probably them actually approaching with actual business idea of how they can produce it, create it, get it on the shelves or get it on the digital marketplace and actually make it work. That's what Sony are actually going to be interested in. As for personal opinion, I think that's great if smaller developers or just individual people can come together and create something from an existing IP that's been dormant for a long time, I think that would be excellent. And I do believe right now it just seems like Sony could really do with a really good FPS story-based game. It doesn't have to even have to have a multiplayer. It'd be nice if it had a small one that maybe got a bit of a cult following, like Last of Us. I know it's not first person, but their multiplayer in the first game seemed to get a bit of traction and people enjoyed it. But to have a really good story-driven single player game would be really good. Or just one that is fun to do. Like the missions are interesting. You look at like Halo, GoldenEye, Time Splitters. They were just fun to play, and a lot of the time we had the local multiplayer, but we also enjoyed playing the campaign as well. And I feel like the campaigns have taken a little bit of a backseat.
They're not relevant anymore. It used to be that you'd play the single player portion and you'd be like, okay, I've finished that now. Now I'll go explore the dessert.
Yeah.
I've had the main course. I'm going to have the dessert. Now they serve the dessert as the main course and give you a savoury dessert.
Yeah, I feel that.
And I don't like that.
I feel that might happen with, if it ever comes out, with like Grand Theft Auto. We've discussed this before, where games become popular through the single player and then they bring in a multiplayer and it kind of opens that up to playing with your friends within that world. And you're like, oh, actually, that's pretty good. And then before you know it, the single player has kind of died off, but I think you lose a lot of the magic there.
Can you imagine, though, single player, RDR2 storyline, the perfection of it,
Yeah.
but it's multiplayer.
And then you've got like...
And you've brought your 10-year-old cousin.
360 coming along going...
Who's on the barn roof.
Who's like, yeah, on the barn roof. What was he doing up on the roof?
And the cutscenes work, but they're shouting up to him.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be so great, would it? We've talked about this. This is one of the reasons why I'm not so keen on those sort of...
MMO.
All the kind of two-player story games where maybe you've got someone with you who's maybe not taking it as seriously as you. You're trying to shoot
but you know,
a Spielberg movie.
Like, we played Red Dead Redemption 2. And
you turned up in a poncho.
Yeah, but one of the best... one of the best things was just like kind of just riding through the scenery and just taking it in.
It was in first-person mode.
I don't know.
You want to...
I prefer third person.
You set the scene. You've got more of a cinematographer's eye.
Yeah.
You
like to live it.
Yeah, you're a director of photography.
Historian's eye.
You should film me doing something old. No, not like that.
I was going to say, Mama Longhorns.
I am not allowed to look at her.
No one is.
He said,
apart from members of the round table.
Pastor squared up to me in the corridor. He got a little bit up front, to be honest with you. He grabbed me by my sort of neck, pinned me against the wall, and he said, "You've got a very negative sexual energy about you." He had an American accent. He isn't from Farmerton. And he said, "Don't look at Mrs. Longhorn. As soon as you know she's coming in the room, you face the wall.
Okay.
Stop whatever you're doing, even if you're on the bathroom. Stand up, turn around, face the wall. And then I will elicit a sound as we leave so you can turn back around again."
Okay.
He forgot. So I stared at a wall for 4 hours.
Oh, no way.
So I've got no idea what she looks like. She sits at the round table with you.
She does. She's more of a Guinevere.
God, she is. Premium package, right? She's going to look amazing. On my package, she's probably going to look like Hilda Ogden.
She has like a digital face, so you see what you pay for.
There's a touch of the Ray magic in that.
There is. Yeah.
I'm starting to pick up hints of Ray magic across this whole commune.
The tech does line up. But it can't be. He's gone.
I watched Pastor kill him, and he just turned into light
When I was a child, I saw Dirty Den get shot, chucked into a river.
Don't talk like this because you're going to build them up for something that I ain't got the ability to write a script for.
Okay.
It's either that or we make it up as we go along.
Either have worked in the past.
Don't reveal the big secret of the Pilot Menace. Don't you dare. Let's not even go down that road.
On to the next bit of news, but you better take this one because I haven't got my readers with me.
Do you want me to get you some glasses?
No,
Okay.
I'm not contractually obliged to wear them.
Laser corrective eye surgery, darling, but, you know,
It plays up with the neon signs.
I don't want to wear the peepers out.
The money makers, darling.
This ice cold stare's either going to get me locked up or some sexy woman.
Oh, yeah.
Fine, right. I don't know why I chose this headline. Maybe because I realised I hadn't changed it moments ago and now I'm under a panic. I changed it to play the game, play the game. Is it relevant? Well, we'll find out. Just a week ago, Nintendo announced it'd be hosting a new Switch Online playtest program. As part of this, it told participants to discuss or disclose anything about it, and pretty much straight away, information about what to expect was leaked online. You're a Reddit warrior. Do you know what this is?
I've heard about it, and I've heard roughly what type of game it is.
Well, now in an update, the playtest has gone live and users are already uploading screenshots, video footage, and even streaming the game. According to a participant via social media, Nintendo hasn't bothered to disable screenshots or recordings for the playtest.
They know what they're doing.
Hang on a minute. So footage of this build can be archived. Some players are currently streaming the playtest on sites like Twitch and YouTube, but it appears copyright takedowns are already being issued. Don't worry. Ninty's in the grass. No, you can't say that. While we won't be sharing anything here on Nintendo Live, footage and screenshots of this playtest are also circulating social media and elsewhere online like Reddit. Nintendo originally drummed up excitement about this playtest by mentioning how it would be tied to a new feature for the Switch Online service. It was also promoted as first come, first serve program and is limited to select locations around the world, so not everybody can participate. The fact takedowns are already being issued, though, seems to indicate Nintendo isn't joking around here. This isn't an isolated case. Valve's new multiplayer action Steam game, Deadlock, which is currently in early development, was recently in a similar situation. Were you lucky enough to get into the playtest? Are you at all surprised footage is already leaking online? Let us know your thoughts in the Discord.
Yeah, it'd be good to hear from some of the listeners. It's always nice to hear your opinions.
OGT Dog, you are the kind of bloodhound of the show. You are known to go to some of the darkest corners of the dark web to find what you need to find.
I didn't have the best signal in the camp. My part's the retreat. I come to this peasant area, and it's like, do you have Wi-Fi here?
We're not allowed Wi-Fi. Could interrupt with the Great Ascension. Why have you got Wi-Fi? You're on a higher level than me.
Yeah,
so you're closer to him.
We're allowed to contact. It's a very restricted internet. It's almost like, the internet they built into Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
A bit like that. So it's only kind of...
It's a bit like your school's intranet.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. We're allowed gaming news because obviously we need to get stuff for the show.
Yeah. It's good that he let us keep doing this, really.
Most of it is propaganda. There's like banners everywhere on the webpage and stuff.
Yeah.
It's got it looking good, though.
Yeah, the webpage, I like it. It's very early internet. I like the sparkles that come off the mouse.
Me too.
Cursor, yeah, it feels great. I do like that. I think maybe his kind of acoustic guitar background is a bit much.
Yeah.
Makes my machine run a bit slow. And it's only 286.
Yes.
Back to this Nintendo story.
All I could find was apparently it's similar to a Minecraft clone. I don't know how true that is, whether it's...
That's exactly what I found out on my research journey. Now, they are alleging that this isn't the game. Right. This is basically Nintendo getting you to test what's underneath the surface. Players interacting in this MMO universe and them stress testing it in the background. It looks like a game, but it's not a game. That's the alleged. Under there could be a test for a Miiverse,
Ah, right. Okay. I see.
where
So it's
you
like a
could work.
disguise of what?
Correct. Well, there's many
Shady.
different rumors, but that's one of the rumors, and that's kind of
Yeah.
why they probably said, "Oh, don't do anything with it." And then people did it, as you said. What did they expect people to do? And now they're putting these. They're
Do,
almost playing
do,
it, giving the ban hour. Seems a bit
do you
strange.
think with like a Miiverse or like a social hub,
Like PlayStation Home.
mm, I think are they going to use this to really push the next Switch as like this is going to be one of the key features of it? Because always
You
there's a
bet me.
we
Hang
talk.
on. You bet me. I think the fans need to hear this because you are the man for the leaks and the rumors. We don't normally do them on the show, but now
We
you're.
don't do rumors, we don't do leaks. Yes.
Yeah. I don't really remember what the song is, but at some point in
Something like
time, we
that.
had a song about that, didn't we?
Copyright, it's my name now. Thank you, Yoko.
Stingray's yours. To be fair,
Yeah.
Stingray's yours.
Back to Yoko.
Some would argue that's why we've had to rest him because we can't afford to pay you the license fee for the. Which is a sad state to be in.
It is. Yeah. I think is the I don't like calling Nintendo stuff a gimmick, but is one of the big features going to be?
Oh, yeah, that was the bet.
Okay.
You bet me £1 million pasta pounds
Hmm.
that the new Switch was going to be called the Switcheroo
Oh, it did, yeah, when we were discussing the Alarmo.
because it comes with a little fanny pack that you put it in, and that's its pouch. So you're like a Switcheroo. You are
I think
basically.
the odds are pretty slim on that one.
I
It's not the wildest
I don't think that it is.
rumor. But is this going to be like the big thing they push with the next console? You know how like certain games or consoles over the years push something
Got a
really big.
gimmick.
You could argue Death Stranding is like, oh, it's the first Strand type game. I think it's quite a cool idea. Like,
The parts of it where that was happening at times felt good, in other times felt
interfering.
it kind of
Yeah.
like you'd arrive somewhere and you'd be like, great. Then you'd set up a few strands, then all of a sudden there were just bridges everywhere.
Yeah. I think it was a cool idea at the time, but almost it was like because it's such a good game on your own and you felt solitary, achieving those things to make the routes easier felt good for your character.
It did.
So it kind of took you out of it and you're like, oh, that's really easy to get to now. I'll just do that. But anyway, we're digressing. Yeah, is it going to be some form of social platform?
I
I'm
think
not really bothered if it is, but that is what it is.
you have to imagine if they made it like you.
Like the Wii U with its
No, more like it's this big world,
yeah.
but you can't just access your games whenever you want to. You have to walk around this world to your game.
See, now that's more appealing.
Oh, is it?
No, I just think something like that's quite cool.
So the menu's gone.
No menu.
You are in
You-
this
you
MMO
create- you
menu
create
all
your
the time.
character.
Yeah. And you have to battle through this world to find your games.
Probably not that extreme, but the idea, I don't know. That's quite a good concept there. Like just the idea that you go into this thing and maybe your character opens a door and then he's in the world of Mario or the world of Zelda, and you have oh no, imagine this. You open that door, you go in, and it's like almost like a hall of fame, and you've got like shelves with all the different titles on.
Oh, don't do this now.
All right.
You know what's gonna. Yeah, and that's great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So you got Luigi's Mansion door. You go in there. They're locked because that's the other thing, right? You need
Hey,
to buy
what?
the game to get it. So if you're a bit
Yeah,
of a
but-
completionist, you're kind
Yeah.
of walking down Nintendo corridor and a lot of the doors are locked and you've got to shell out.
I think to be
70
fair, if
quid
you
to
bought
open
it
the doors.
already on the NSO online, you should be allocated because they've got no excuse now that those transactions, if they're linked to your account, can transfer. So you go in and you've got X
Let's go
amount.
brutal. You've got nothing. You've got.
Sounds like something they would do.
It does. This is why I want to
Yeah.
drag it down this
Okay.
road.
Okay.
So there's all these doors.
Yeah.
That's like, oh, look what you could have won if you'd maybe tried a bit harder at your GCSE sort of scenario. Just locked, 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 locked. It's oh, damn it. But then you get one that open. You get your game cart. You're like, yes, I've got it. And you walk through all these corridors. You battle through this little garden area, and you get to it, and you open it up, and you go in. And I agree with you. Maybe that's cool. That's how the game starts. Your game starts on Nintendo Switch, switcheroo.
Well, what would be cool is if your avatar, like the character you make, you get to this last bit and it's like an, a nice living area, something real nice, chill, peaceful. You can then decorate how you want, or like collect little collectibles, all this sort of tack you usually get. And then you sit down, cross-legged in front of the console. You put the cartridge in. And then it goes from like filming behind your avatar into like, and then zooms back in as if you were going into first person, then the game starts.
Wow, we're really shooting off piste right now. But what I also want to know how you would handle.
We copyright this. So today is the 24th of October.
I want to know.
If it happens, we take them to court.
I want to. I'm sure they've got this button down better than this hokey cokey load of nonsense. I want to know how you would handle someone putting in a game like, because this open menu universe has to be able to handle some pretty outrageous stuff, especially if you've seen the Switch shop lately, some of that mobile phone game. Right? Or do you just open this door and it just sort of hard dumps back to the Nintendo Switch OG menu and you have to select?
Yeah. Maybe they do it for first party only.
Oh, but that's even worse.
So you just get the cold hard, like, you have all that
like,
Nintendo magic, and then you just have like a third party.
And it's almost,
it's 8 sports.
When it hard drops back to like a like a double A menu.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know, like a really jarring, almost like a Dreamcast-like menu to navigate, like plonk, plonk, plonk down between the 4 different files you're allowed to activate, and your games are just in there as a list of text.
I don't know about you, but talking about like consoles and stuff, I really want a new console, just something new.
Like, you want to get rid of your PS5?
No, I'm enjoying the PS5. I wish there's a few more games, but I'm looking forward to Astro Bot.
Thing is, I wanted to talk to you about this. I'm guilty of saying it. You just said it. I wish there was more games. There's loads of games. There's just not enough games to our taste.
Yeah, at the minute, I think definitely.
But what is your taste? And what is mine?
I think back to like this summer where we got Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, they lasted me ages. And there were 2 games I really, really enjoyed. And I think in the same year, did we get Days Gone in the spring? Maybe not. I might be getting confused. But anyway.
Well, we covered each and every one of them, didn't we?
Yeah. I think we need to understand these big budget games do take longer. And that's the truth. And there's a lot of risk involved because if they flop, it's a big expense. It's a big loss for the developer or the company. But yeah, in general, I just feel like I'm really looking forward to the new Nintendo machine, whatever it is. I just want something slightly new.
What's it called?
Switcheroo. I did hear a rumor that the new Switch will launch with a brand new Mario Kart with characters from lots more games, like they're lots more.
Super Smash Kart.
Something similar, yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Apparently, with a reveal at the end of this month, like a very basic reveal, we'll get a very brief glimpse of a new Mario, and they'll be pushing the actual tech and the machine a bit in the trailer. It'll be similar, akin to the original Switch reveal trailer, where you don't really see
how it pops in and out.
Yeah, like the actual.
I kind of wondered if the pouch. I thought of it as a kind of thin cloth thing because they're going to save costs. Yeah, like a loincloth. And now I wonder whether it should be a sprung OG Nintendo dock, so you can kind of
like Data from the Goonies.
Yeah, you kind of slam it in, and then as you want it, you can sort of thrust and catch it in your hands about chest level.
Good Lord. Right, I think we should move on with this news anyway.
That's it, it's done.
We're good.
Yeah, okay. It's 2 pieces for 2 strong, beautiful human men.
briefly then, before we move on from the news, Alamo. That was an interesting choice from
You're desperate to talk about that. Why?
I don't know. I just thought. I think that's the desperation for something new from Nintendo. Was almost like I was almost like,
aren't you going to?
You know, where you see something first with your eyes before you read it. I was like, oh, is this to do with the Switch 2? And then I don't know why. I'm just really wanting something new gaming. I was even hyped in the summer for when I heard loads of rumors about Xbox releasing a handheld, because I thought, what a great way for me to get into the Xbox games without investing in another full console. So yeah, I'm just ready for something new. I feel in
Something
gaming.
borrowed, something blue.
Maybe.
Well, I guess then. Oh, hang on. What are you going to do?
Just speaking of new, have you played? Are you getting or playing the Arkham game on PSVR 2? Because you're one of the only people I know who has one.
I wasn't sure whether it was on PSVR 2. I thought it was Oculus.
Surely not.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
it's an
wow.
exclusive. I don't mean to hurt you.
No, you might be right.
And I don't mean to upset you in any way, but I think that is the truth.
How is the Discord going these days?
The Discord is a wonderful place for all those to inhabit. Instead of making them wait till making them wait, I said mating them wait. I think that would be quite harsh
That's
of us to
part of the
force them.
camp we don't talk.
That's what I thought happened at the big table.
No.
No. Okay. What about the listen holes? I
That's
feel like
what-
there's a lot of
that's
that
what-
going on at the listen holes.
That's what your class call them, is it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you call them? Because you're on the other side.
Peepholes.
You look through them. I guess he's told you your eye is somewhere else, though, because he told me my ear was in my mouth. Where's he? I don't think I want to. It's just there in the grass. I can see it. Right. Let's do our wonderful supporters on the podcast support tier, and I'm gonna. On the UCP, we're not as greedy as Pastor Longhorn. You'll always get the show for free, but if you want to support, here's the tiers. $3 is going to get you a readout on every show, as we're doing right now. $5 is going to get you a readout on every show and art merch yearly. So every time we do a new album art, you get a t-shirt. You get a t-shirt with it on. $8, you get a readout on every show, art merch yearly, plus access to the Inglorious chat. That's how the spirit of the Inglorious, the OG support
Lives
group of the show, lives on there, but you can become an Inglorious member by default. $10 gets you read out on every show, art merch yearly, plus access to the Inglorious chat and quarterly Zoom chat with the hosts.
Wow.
I know, right? How does that make you
That's
feel?
bargain.
And whoever joins, regardless of what tier, now think about this for a deal, right? So for $3, literal dollars. So if you're in the UK, it's nothing. It's like 20p. Okay. So for $3, I will send you a t-shirt immediately.
That's very good of you.
Very generous. Very generous. So we say thank you to each and every one of you. And now we'll start. So we start with Carlos.
Hello, Carlos.
He's the One Man George fan club.
Is he?
How's that made you feel? Do we now need to rally round to get someone to sign up? Someone's been listening since the first episode. They're like a champion of yours. They were always like, yeah, you give it to him, Tom. You tell him, mate. And then when you quit and there was like no fanfare and it was all washed into the law, they were like, no, my Tom wouldn't do that. He ain't dirty like that. You're doing him dirty on the show. I don't like it. You've done him dirty. And then you pop back for the odd ones. Like, I knew he was back. Oh, like Christmas Carol episode where he played Scrooge. Bloody BAFTA award-winning, absolute legend. And then the odd times you pop back, like, oh, business has picked up. Yeah, Tom's back on the show. Yeah, next week he's like, oh, for God's sake. He sat there. She sat there.
She, possibly.
You've got one of those voices that just pulls women to the speaker like a needle to a magnet. right? That's you.
Okay.
And they're sat there saying, hang on a minute, what? Some of this money could go towards Tom. Like all of this money goes to Tom. It's the only reason why we have the support show, to pay off our legal debt to him. Because he's technically the owner of the show. And for the show to continue, we need to make these monthly contributions to you so we can use the UCP name and the license of.
Occasionally, like Vinnie Mac, I just involve myself in the storyline of the
It's
show.
exactly. It's like you walked down pastor's path today.
Chest pumped out,
Just
swagger walk,
pumped out, giving it the swagger.
getting the pump in the gym.
I call a couple of the smaller cult members. They're not kids. And they're fully grown,
Yeah,
but slightly not as tall as you.
yeah.
Pulling a wheeled trolley, the Red Rocket, as
Yeah.
it's known here in America, with a little flag on it, full of your cash.
Of course.
Is there any need to bring that here?
Well, I like to know where it is at all times.
Can Pastor just take his 4K from there, or do you hand it to Pastor?
I hand it to him. It feels better that way.
So although
He can't dirty his hands getting near the trolley.
So I've given up relationships, children, a whole bag of tricks to join this cult, and you've given up nothing. And Pastor has access to everything, to me, to my things, but he can't touch your money.
Pastor has a term for this. Money talks, merit works.
Oh, God. I see why you and him get on. I really do.
Like peas in a pod.
Are you him?
No. But we're very rarely seen at the same time.
Oh, no. What does he say again? Money talks.
Merit works.
Wow. Let's give these fans their readout.
The more noble you are, the more moral virtue you have, the harder you will be worked here.
Wow. So if I was a dirty dog, I would be at the big table. Oh, if I had $4,000.
If
Yeah.
you had $4,000.
Okay, right, fine. Well, this all makes sense to me now. I now understand why I am literally Pastor's floor scrapings, and you are second to God.
Play the game.
Play the game, play the game.
Otherwise, it plays you.
Firm returns, and then we'll go a roundabout.
Okay, kicking it off. Pick on all the readouts for our very, very supportive
Well, we've already
listeners.
kicked off because we've already done 2.
We have done 2. And now we're going to do the rest.
Okay.
Trestles, New York.
Bada Bingster.
Tingle Tuna.
I think you need to get his name wrong. I think it's a tradition now.
Tingle Toner.
Okay, fine, bit of law. Digital Monkery.
Roast Space Monk.
The Gaming Gram.
Bold Border.
Bobalova.
Marathon Gaming.
The Show's Own, still loyally putting his own wages back in the pot. Seal Master Elliot.
Ginge.
That's my redheaded stepson. You can take the next one.
Emma Sharp.
She is. What is she? Is she on or off the apps? Only you know. You're the app ranger. Because your throwaway comment of is she on the apps has become
Okay.
some very deep lore. So every time we do this readout now, we say either she's on or off the apps, and congratulations or commiserations, depending on what we say.
Okay.
So is Emma on the apps or not?
She's not on them. Congratulations.
That's wonderful. I'm made up. Also, Emma went to, I don't know where she's from, somewhere, right? But they went on holiday to Gainsborough, Old Hall, for a little walk round.
Yep.
And she wore a UCP t-shirt.
That's amazing.
Little did I know when I went on a school trip that someone will be walking around in a t-shirt linked to some random modern day radio show.
Amazing.
and
Time is a funny thing.
we'd be in a cult.
Yeah.
In Texas.
Things change.
Emma's changed. She's off the apps.
Harvey Retro.
The king of darkness. Marathon Gaming normally likes to check the map, and there's Berlin. But Greg, he's in Nantucket, so he's nowhere near Berlin.
Mumsy.
The beloved Mumsy. Without her, we'd be nothing. The RGT fan club.
Peter Brocklehurst.
Billy Marmite.
Simon Pryke.
And you need to say Fat Zangief. Now, part of his contract for paying his subs is that you have to say it in a sexually climactic way.
Wow.
Yep. I give you my word.
Fat Zangief.
That was actually, we're related, but I got a little bit, hot under the collar. Okay, with that done, we can enjoy the slide out of the show. So, community corrections, if you have any, if we've said something egregious or, that's part of the show.
Done well today.
I don't think it's called Alarmo. I think it's Alarmoo.
Alarmoo.
But if we've said anything wrong, please get in touch and let us know. Community corrections, no doubt, will tell us where we've gone wrong and how much complete a ridiculous mess we made of the whole scenario. Did we miss anything, or do you have an opinion or take on the news that we missed? Like, maybe, hang on a minute, George, you're going at that Killzone news from the wrong angle. You're talking at your backside, basically. How would they get in contact with us and let us know all this information and or interact with the wider UCP universe?
You can reach us on the Discord chat.
Yes.
You can reach us on Instagram and other socials. Or you can email us at questions@unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com.
Watching you maneuver yourself there, I believe you were doing it in a almost theatrical way. And I believe what you were trying to show me is a puppeteer controlling his marionette while also
reading his lines.
Yes.
It was so subtle. I nearly had you. My eyes were looking one way.
Oh, I thought,
but I was doing things.
This makes sense.
To keep you focused elsewhere.
You played the game. Listen, it's time now to welcome in the great Pastor. So it's time for a peek in what we affectionately call Pastor Longhorn Smock. Do you see what we did here?
I like that.
We did this last time you were on, but it blew past you like
you
didn't even care. Yeah, you didn't even notice it. What's nestled between some cult paraphernalia and a dodgy copy of Battlefield Earth this week? See what we've done there?
Oh.
No one else has commented, so it's literally. I might as well be speaking to myself.
Okay.
But
that's how we always felt when we first started.
But this is contrived script writing. It's not the free-flowing script that we normally use between the sections. So maybe that's why they don't get it, or they jive against it, or maybe they're just in mourning for the Ray. Who knows? Agreed. These are new release highlights for the week, October 27th to October 3rd, 2024. Listeners, these are out digital, physical, or will be by the time this podcast is in your feed, but could be. Oh, you better believe it. Pastor could be region dependent. Now, what we do is, how back in the day, Ray would come up and he would give us his wares out the boot. Yes. Now, what we do is Pastor faces away from us, and you reach round, and you grab a game out of his smock.
Yep.
And then you read it out.
Okay. I'm reaching around first then. Life is Strange, double exposure, available on the Xbox Series X, PS5 and PC, coming out on October the 29th, 2024. When Max Caulfield finds her friend Safi dead in the snow, she tears open the way to a parallel timeline. Here, Safi is still alive and still in danger. With her new power to shift between two timelines, can Max solve and prevent the same murder?
Let's hang on.
This is My Mummy, the next one.
I haven't even touched him yet, so how do you know what it is? Or did you load him up?
Well, I had a long reach. I felt the embossed logo of the game.
Did you? Okay. Well, let's not keep the audio listeners in any more suspense. And if you're listening in the cheap seats of YouTube, because someone didn't pay the bill, it's audio only show masquerading as a video. If you clicked and got this far, you are what I would call
That's how I listen to podcasts
you're a
on
hero.
YouTube.
What, audio only?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me whether I got a video because I'm not watching it. I'm usually playing it like through my car stereo or my hi-fi, like in my private quarters.
You're allowed this.
Yeah.
Draken Age, the Veilguard. It came from very deep down south, that, so I don't know quite where you've been putting these games in his smock, but comes out on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X October 31st. If you wanted a scary horror game for Halloween, we got you covered. Unite the Veilguard and defy the gods in Dragon Age. Dragons can be scary. There's potential for a dragon to scare someone.
Mm-hmm.
The Veilguard, an immersive single-player RPG where you become the leader others believe in.
Yeah, I quite like the look of that.
Why don't you bring him to this sort of section to a climax and give him that final reach round?
Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, available on the PC and PS5, October 31st, 2024. Experience a critically acclaimed Horizon Zero Dawn with stunning new visuals and upgraded features in a far future where colossal machines roam the earth. Pockets of humanity survive in unique tribes amongst the lush, overgrown ruins of our long-lost civilization.
So, what's your pasta vasa?
Pasta Vasa?
Yeah,
Is that my mummy? Is that the equivalent now?
don't do that round here.
Okay.
He's got his back to us, but if he turns, even premium tier members.
He's never met Mumsy, though.
Yeah, but when he's had his robes rearranged the way we've just done it, he doesn't want to look at anyone.
The shame.
He said to me, "You won't understand what this is," but he said he calls it post-nut clarity.
Okay.
It's almost like he wants to kind of just exit out this conversation immediately and forget it ever happened.
Yeah, it's just done.
He got what he needed, and now he don't want to.
All clip unloaded, away it goes.
Yeah, he just let him go.
Okay.
So yeah, which is your pasta vasa?
Dragon Age: The Veilguard.
And that's also your copyright, by the way, because you came on for one weird episode where you churned a load of lore out that we've all had to stick to. So it's pasta vasa. That's what you're saying. The law. The law is the law. So you're picking what? Dragon Age: The Veilguard?
Yes.
I'm picking second time around on Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. I'm going to pay the £10 for the upgrade. So I can experience that all over again.
Not on your PS. So it's nothing to do with the Pro. It is just a general remaster.
For the PS5, yeah.
Oh,
the Pro's got an upgraded version. You know, they've got the...
Wow, it's almost like they have premium tiers.
What did I see it written as? Okay, so if that's on the Pro, that's basically, and this is brutal, but it's true. The PS4 Pro, that's the PS5 Pro. That's the PS5 Pro.
Triple Pro.
So you're playing the PS4 Trip Pro. Get yourself Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered for the Trip Pro. It's got legs.
I actually like that
because that's still only.
I couldn't get into the second, but I do like the first. I think it's a very good game.
I actually thought the second one was better.
I should have stuck with it instead of watching spoilers. I was in a weird place at that time. Like asleep. Just, couldn't get into it. And then Elden Ring came out like a week later. Just buried it.
Bury it. It's dead. If the Horizon Zero Dawn downloads, don't go to it. Kill it. It's dead. Right, okay. Well, that's that all summed up. So with that, Pastor's walked away. He's rearranged his robes. He's probably gone to one of the speaking holes, or the peephole, as you called it.
Mm-hmm.
That should sort him out. Once all that's happened, and I don't really want to leave and go back to normality, because although this has been a very stark sort of master-slave relationship that we've got going on here, I know my place and you know yours. I doff my cap to you, quite rightly so, my hood that he makes me wear. I can barely see out of, and I still have to face the wall when his wife comes in the room. It seems a bit savage. What are you hoping to play?
That's a really good question. I think we said earlier that there aren't masses of things out there right now. I saved Astrobot. I want to play that with my, like, Breaking Law. I want to play that with my boys at Christmas. Um,
These
Drag-
aren't sort of adopted world orphans or anything. These are real
no
children.
law with these. These are real. So
Can
yeah,
that be the law?
They enjoyed the first one, or the one that was bundled with PS5. So yeah, looking forward to kind of just letting them experience.
I've been
that.
playing that actually, and I should have said that at the top of the show. And this is going to be absolutely controversial, but I don't care anymore. I don't think I enjoy it as much as the one that got bundled with the PS5. It's too busy. It's too much to do. Like,
Okay,
it's
well
a bit too
that
much
sounds like
collectibles,
up my street for the Christmas break.
You will run through it as well.
Okay.
And I've been trying to nibble at it, and maybe that's why I've not fully like gone all in on
See,
it.
no, I think you're doing it wrong though. When I'd compare a game like that to Mario Odyssey, which I bought Friday and finished Sunday evening because it was that good and that much fun to just play. It was pure video game.
See, I've been living the pauper's life. I've been nibbling at it to make it last.
No,
And
not
you
sort of game.
basically just want the full peephole. You just want to just boom and
just
done.
go.
You want to.
Just go. Dragon Age: The Veil Guard is something I would probably take my time with.
You see, that's odd because it's a really long game. And you nibble at it, you're never going to get into it.
I suppose
My
what you're
clip
saying,
is this is Astrobot's quite short. And
pick up and play.
just have a little nibble and put
Yeah.
it down. That you need to sink 10 hours into it every time you turn it on. That's you might as well
I think
be
I
playing
think there
it.
can be a lot of factors in sometimes how we enjoy video games or whether we don't. So yeah.
So what are you playing?
Been playing a bit of Warzone, believe it or not. Dived back into that.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. A bit more Space Marine 2.
Do you wear a
I would-
bandana when you play Warzone?
No.
Well, tell me you
I've
do.
told you this story about when my headset broke and cousin William came to borrow some DVDs and he was like, why have you got like a dressing gown robe belt around your head? And it was because, you know, the old 360 headset. You know, the 360 headsets where they were like one ear and a mic.
That
And they
poor
had a-
kid's seen some stuff, hasn't he?
I had like a band over, like a hairband over the top. So that had like snapped. So I just had the earpiece and the mic and I'd like sort of loosely tied it around my head. So I was that desperate to carry on playing. I just tied it around my head with a dressing gown robe belt. It looked like some sort of like.
How did you go
It looked like.
bathroom?
Hey?
How did you go bathroom?
It was hanging in my room behind my door. It's not like a one you dry yourself with.
No, slow down. You're playing game, you've got yourself trussed up, you're tied
Yeah.
up like a stuffed pig.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, crikey, before this game starts, I need to just nip for a quick bathroom. Did you have to untie it or did you just sort of throw it down? But then when you got back and everyone's starting the game and you're like trying to do a granny knot across a half itch,
I
I
don't,
get it
I
on.
don't remember that much detail, but yeah,
Oh.
I'm sure. Yeah, it was not an ideal. They weren't the strongest headsets.
They were diabolical.
They weren't comfy either because you know
And the
little
PS3
pad,
one,
they had a little pad on the side. That was like crushing.
was
into
it
the
just
side
like
of
that
your
sort
skull.
of grey sponge with the little jutty
No, so you had the bando went over. You had an earpiece on one side.
on
with a
one
mic,
side, only
and
one
then
side?
it had like this like oval shaped bit of like plastic with a bit of foam on it that kind of really pushed into the side of your skull.
I was talking about because I'm follically challenged, I can't really cosplay as that many people from Star Wars without
Okay.
being a stormtrooper, and I decided I could be Lobot and then Empire Strikes Back, and
Okay.
actually I need that headset for the cosplay.
Amazing.
Poundland Lobot's in town. He's got a broken 360 headset nailed to his head and a couple of red and blue stickers for life.
I like it.
Wearing a long sleeve shirt with maybe just like a gilet.
One thing I'd like to ask, are there any indie games within the Discord community that people are playing or have enjoyed in the last 6 months? Because I thought about getting the Plucky Squire.
Why don't you get it?
I don't know. I want just a new little indie game to play.
What sort of game are you looking for?
Well, I tried Blasphemous 2, which I really enjoyed, and then it's like I do that. Some I end up finishing, some I don't, and it was just one that I didn't. I really enjoyed Hades, and I wish we'd get Hades 2 on. Obviously, it's on PC and what do they call it? Like beta alpha, Ziga nonsense. But yeah, I probably won't get a lot else till maybe get Silent Hill 2. I don't think there's much out in November 1, and then yeah, I'll probably save Dragon Age and Astrobot for Christmas holidays.
Dear Father Christmas, please may I have Astrobot and Dragon Age
for Christmas, please.
If you need any help, I will circle the ones that I want in the Argos catalogue.
Yes. Do you ever find that you get to like November and you're like, I've basically bought all the games that are going to push for Christmas already?
Yes.
And I haven't saved anything to play.
Yeah. It's like one of those times where I go into what's left of the game store.
Yeah, it's only because
I see a sign and I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, what?
See, I could get Star Wars Outlaws.
I honestly believe.
I think I'll quite like that.
That's your perfect Christmas game. There's a little bit of nostalgia.
The 7 will be raised to an 8 because it's Christmas and it's.
Yeah, it's a 9 at this rate. And it's a sort of game where Dad's going to walk in. He's going to be like, here's a mince pie, mate. And you go like, cheers, Dad. Whoa, what's that you've got on there? Is that Star Wars? And you'd be like, yeah, Dad, yeah. So like, what can you do? He's like, watch me blast into space. Like, oh, crikey, you can go anywhere. Watch me, Dad. I'll go, I'll tell you what. Because you're staging it for Daddy as well, because there is only 4 planets. You're like, I'll tell you what, let's go Tatooine. Oh, is that from the first? Yeah, do it. Then you do the.
That's where he turns around and goes, no, I want to go to Coruscant.
No, go Dagobah.
And you're like, no. You start defending the game. You start being like, no. You can do that. But you can't do that right now. And you're just making these stories up in your head to like make the world bigger.
Then your dad's at the water cooler at work. Like Marshall's got that new Star Wars game. Oh yeah, it's a shame you can only get a 4+. No.
He's told me. I believe it.
He showed me. He showed me.
Secretly flicked to like Empire Strikes Back, and it's like, God, the graphics have like almost photorealistic.
No, they've got worse.
Yeah, he genuinely looks like a puppet in this.
He is a puppet. I think as the years go by, the Tauntauns start to look a little bit more dangerous as well, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
I felt like they were real creatures when I was a kid. Now I see their lifeless faces in the zoom-in shots. I'm like, no, he's just dead. What am I hoping?
What are you hoping to play?
Frostpunk.
Sanam.
What's become of me? I want a game.
Right.
And I look at the pile of games that I've got and I'm like, no, there's nothing there.
What's the one you were putting Deathloop?
I've put that off that long. It's now buried deep in the substrata of a game.
It's retro.
Yes, retro it is. It's PS5 launch game.
I think if you switch the difficulty, as I did on WWE Showcase, because for some reason, I don't know why, if any other listeners are having this problem, it was just ridiculously hard. So I put it down to easy, and it was still a challenge.
I think that it was. I've had a quick play on it, and I felt like it was within grasp. I didn't feel like when I first played WWE, WCW World Tour or whatever is the first one. I remember sitting in my bedroom as a grown teenager.
Yeah.
Like feeling really down because I'd blown $40 on a game that I just couldn't even work out how to play.
Yeah.
And I got that, and I love wrestling. Yeah. And like the WWE games weren't cutting it. So I was just desperate for anything where I could execute some sort of ring expertise, and work the ring a little bit more.
Yeah.
And that's what that gave us. And I had to knock it down to easy to learn the game.
That's what I think you need to do here. I'm probably 7 or 8 matches into the showcase now, and stuff starting to I can put on the 4, 5, possibly 4.5 star show.
Oh, really?
I can work the different parts of the ring, can lift them up onto the turnbuckle, but then I can also turn them around. Can do moves off the springboard off the ropes. I can do the pull back Irish whip. So rather than whip them to the ropes, you whip them and pull them back. It's learning. That's part of the fun of a good game like that, is learning the system and the process for how you play it. And I think that's what you're saying with WCW versus NWO.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew that the game in there was the game I wanted to play.
Yeah.
But I found it so much of a... Because all the other WWE games I played were all combo games, which I hated because you had to memorize a million different combos. And that's one of the things that I'm also not keen about this new WWE.
The only combos in there is literally the just light attack and the heavy attack.
If you played the tutorial, you'd realise that there's a hell of a lot more than that.
Yeah, but I just skipped that tutorial. It tells you enough within...
That's also annoying. Like, I want to play the showcase. I don't need you to ram a tutorial down my throat.
Yeah, but it's subtle, like prompts on the screen. It's not like the full tutorial where I played like very few bits of that, and there's still stuff I don't know how to do. But I kind of think if I want to learn how to do that part of the game, I'm going to press pause, probably have a look through the controls, or even YouTube it, rather than go, because that tutorial just feels like real. If I loaded it up and it forced you to play that, I would turn it off or just skip it, because it's just, there needs to be a way of them doing that next time where it's slowly integrated in a much more organic way. And it must be really hard to do because there's a lot of complex controls when you get further into it. And like I say, there's still stuff I'm unsure how to do, or you'll forget. But once it starts clicking, and it's just got a real good feel to it. So I hope you stick with it for a little bit and try and knock it down to easy and try and go through a few showcases. And
well, we're going to put in a showcase for the Immortals now.
We are.
I'm going to throw down. I'm going to... No, well, if you get me a pass to the carpeted corridor where you and the other high-end celebs live.
The entrance to the Great Hall, which leads to the round table.
If you can get me access to your room there, we can go mano a mano.
Okay. That sounds good.
Okay. You put the hall pass into pasta and I'll get dressed. And that's all we have time for this week, listeners. As always, thank you for your time. We look forward to the pleasure of speaking to you again next week. Until then, happy gaming, and remember, there's nothing wrong with being given the unofficial controller. It's what you do. Tom, it's what you do with it that counts. See you soon.
See you soon, mate.
Take it away, Pastor.
George and Seth rolling
down the road.
RGT
riding shotgun, a heavy load.
Pastor Longhorn waiting to unfold. In El Paso, Texas, tales been told. One arm big, a sight to see. Pastor preach, set you free. George and Seth, they bend the knee. RGT nodding yes in glee. Join the cult in El Paso town, where Pastor Longhorn's got his crown. One arm high, the other down. We're the wildest show around. Sunday's hot, the desert air. George and Seth both feel the glare. Longhorn's words hang everywhere. Salvation found without a care. Sunday's hot, the desert air. George and Seth both feel the glare. Longhorn's words hang everywhere. Salvation found without a care. RGT plays a sacred tune underneath